obviously we had the NFL draft last weekend, which was exciting, as it always is. And so there are some articles out there that have kind of given some grades to all 32 NFL teams, and I'm curious what your takes are, if you agree with those. Who won, who lost, which teams, are going to be prospering after the draft that took place last week. Well, let's talk about the NFL draft. And we kind of organized this as an article here from the USA Today about the NFL draft, and still has 7 rounds, right?
Yeah.
7 rounds, 32 picks each round. And so that's the NFL draft for you. What were some of your takeaways for the NFL draft last week? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so watching the draft, I did kind of peek down at these a little bit, but I hadn't looked at any of these final grades. My honest take would be, Leo, that the Eagles got better, which is scary because they were already really, really good.
Really good.
And their interior defensive line just got significantly better, which is scary. So I would say the Eagles and the Texans. I think what the Texans did to get their quarterback and then immediately make a trade to go get that top defensive player, that linebacker that they wanted to get. I was really impressed with the Eagles and the Texans. I'll give a review on my guys, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They kind of got screwed out of that first-round pick because of the talking to Tom Brady a little too early, which everyone does that crap, and they lose a 6th or 7th rounder. But for whatever reason, Miami got their first-round taken, and so teams like Miami, San Francisco didn't have those early picks, didn't have first-round picks. I think they didn't do a good job at filling the holes on the team. They didn't fill their needs. They were just trying to find best players available. So I'm not necessarily opposed to what they did, but they need to go make some additional moves. But the Eagles got a lot better. The Texans definitely positioned themselves for success. Looking at this now, it looks like Eagles and Texans were both A+. Jets at an A-. I think I'm just a Jets hater now because of the Aaron Rodgers thing, but I wasn't all that impressed with what they did. Panthers went and got their guy, Bryce Young, so we'll see how that pans out. Does this scroll down? Who got the worst grades?
There we go.
Jags, Browns, and
think?
Broncos. Yeah, I don't think any of them
Dude,
really
Sean
got...
Payton screwed things at the Broncos? Wow, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, everything that they gave up to bring Russell Wilson in just kind of screwed them for a while.
They're in a tough spot.
Yeah, we'll hope he can figure
we'll
this
see what
out.
Coach Payton can do there.
Yeah. No, I don't know where Atlanta ended up. I really thought I think Bijan would be a fantastic running back in the NFL, but there were some really, really good players still on the board when Atlanta went and picked the running back. It seems like in the league, running backs are kind of a dime a dozen right now. I thought it was really, really odd for them to go pick a running back when they just had a rookie go for over 1,000 yards last year, but maybe they know something we don't.
I mean, it's kind of like the last hurrah of where if you had a great running back, like in the 90s, I think of the Cowboys and Emmitt Smith. I think of the Denver Broncos and Terrell Davis. And those were kind of like the last 2 teams that the run was really what, established their success and their franchises for a number of years. And then you start to go beyond that, and I don't think that's been the case for 20-plus years.
Derrick Henry's
and
the
running backs
outlier.
are kind of a commodity.
Yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry's the one outlier that we've seen. Dalvin Cook's had some good years. Zeke's had some good years, but they've kind of turned into running backs by committee. Christian McCaffrey's a very, very unique back, and I get it, paying some money there, but look how many downs he's missed over the last few years.
Always
Their
hurt.
lifespan is so short. I mean, Atlanta needed some massive help up front, and there was some really good options to go get it, and they went with a running back. So we'll see how that pans out, but I thought that was a really strange pick.
It's always weird to me. Like, you've got some different strengths on your team, and you're good here and there, and then you just draft somebody that kind of only adds to those strengths, which is great. You got more, but your weaknesses, if you don't fix your you have to be good everywhere. You look at the Eagles, They're great on the D-line. They're great in their defensive backfield. They're great on the offensive line. They have talent at receiver, running back, and their quarterbacks. Like, there's no holes in that team. And wherever they did have some little holes, they filled them further. And then you look at other teams that, like the Falcons, well, they Tyler Algier, and they did okay running the ball, but they didn't have a lot going on downfield with the receivers. Was their offensive line great? I mean, you just think of all the weaknesses, and I think it's similar in business, right? Oh, yeah, we're good at this, but you never work on all the stuff you're weak at, right? You never have a podcast. You never do any social media, and you just have a few word of mouth or referrals that come in. And you never build on those weaknesses. Well, if you don't build on the weaknesses and invest in technology in your business, you're going to eventually get killed by the competition. And it's the same thing in the NFL. If you just keep on adding to some of the things you're good at, but you never fix the stuff you suck at, I just don't see you getting better.
Exactly. You're only ever as good as your weakest link, and that is true even in the NFL. So, but no, I'm definitely excited. It's panning out to be another really good season. Thankfully, I don't think Buffalo got any better. They did get our Ute, Kincaid, but I don't think Buffalo got any better. I think
New that's England another perfect example. I mean, their tight end, I'm sure Kincaid's an upgrade and you need multiple tight ends, but we're looking at a team that the Cincinnati Bengals in the second round went right through the Bills' offensive line. Don't you need some help at the offensive line?
Or linebacker. I mean, they ran all over them too.
Their defense was just porous. Yeah. So did they fill those holes? Didn't seem like it. So,
but I'm okay with that. AFC East coming back to Miami.
I think you're right. I mean, it's maybe Miami and maybe the Jets. We'll see how the Jets translate. I mean, I do like their coach. Yeah. That guy Saleh is a winner, and I think the team won in spite of all of their issues and talent gaps and Zach Wilson not playing well. So. He's a great coach. We'll see what they can do. I guess if they make – you're right, Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great year last year, but if they make his life simple, maybe they do well. Maybe he doesn't have to be as good if Saleh keeps on running a good defense and they can run the ball, but, that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So based off of the draft results, what would you anticipate happening in 2023?
Yeah, like I said, I don't see anyone in the NFC taking down the Eagles. The only teams that I thought if they really had a good offseason, maybe Dallas could make a push. I think Minnesota's done. I think that the 49ers could make a push, but I'm just – as weird as this is, I don't know that I'm necessarily sold on Brock Purdy being the long-term solution. I think he was a fantastic fill-in. I think he did a miraculous thing, but I don't think he's going to be that – Super Bowl winning quarterback. So I think the NFC is still locked down by Philadelphia. The AFC, oh man, I there's a lot of teams that could win the AFC. Cincinnati's really good. Obviously the Chiefs, the Super Bowl champs, got better. Miami's a really, really good team. The Chargers are a really good team. Buffalo's a really good team. I think the AFC is really hard, but I would not be surprised at all to see another Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like, we're looking at a Biden-Trump rematch in the presidential thing, and it's like in the NFL, yeah, the odds are pretty good we could see, the Chiefs and Eagles. The only other two I see challenging, the two you mentioned, Cincinnati and the Dolphins, especially if Tua can stay healthy because they're so talented. And Joe Burrow is just a badass. He's just a bad man. So I see those three. On the NFC, I mean, you see the Eagles and the 49ers clearly have a lot of talent. I'm with you. I mean that was a five-game run for Purdy. That's cool, but I mean, they have a whole offseason to look at what you did and what your trends were and what you tend to do, and all of a sudden the year two can be very, very different, even as smart as Kyle Shanahan is. But besides those two, I don't even see who else who else you got in the NFC. I sure as hell don't have the Cowboys. Do you agree with that? Do you think they had a C- draft?
Yeah, I don't think they handled their need. Okay. Hot take here.
Okay.
The Detroit Lions could honestly make a playoff run.
Yeah.
They are a very good team.
I love their coach. Love Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Playing with a massive chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
They played well. How'd they do in the draft, though?
They really interesting. They used their first pick and went and got a running back, which was weird because they picked up David Montgomery, and they already had. I'm drawing such a blank. They already had their number one running back, and then they let Jamal Williams.
Right,
he's gone.
Scored
he
a bunch of touchdowns.
They picked up Montgomery, and then they ended up trading. Gosh, he's a phenomenal running back. I don't know why I'm drawing such a blank. He was a top-tier running back, but they traded him to the Eagles for a 4th-round pick. And so now they've got Montgomery and Alabama's running back that they picked up in the 1st round, and then they filled a few more needs. I think the Lions could be a really good team.
Well, yeah. Aaron Rodgers is gone, and Minnesota's inconsistent because their defense is very porous.
Yeah.
Very porous.
Yeah. Well, and they're saying Dalvin Cook's going to Miami.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's getting real.
Wow, that would be nice for Miami.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook posted a photo and put a dolphin over his Vikings logo. But because of the way it works, it saves them a ton of money if they wait until June so he gets cut versus a trade. So
gotcha.
This June, you'll see Dalvin Cook in Miami.
Fascinating.